So we're good with that.
Used to be a circle drive, and they decided only to do half as phase one and do a cul-de-sac on the end.
Okay.
But it required all a new plat, and she stopped and was hesitant about going forward with it. And Mr. Deere's been helping her a little bit, and they tried, but it was almost finished in, all it needed was a plat and a few approval here and there. It needed, they changed the road name, and we got it approved through 911, and everything else was fine.
Okay.
The road department looked at it, the road department looked at it, Chris has looked at it, all the T's crossed, I had an I dotted on it.
Well, I'll make a motion then that we, approve Jones State subdivision.
A second.
Motion second, any discussion? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Hires?
Yes.
Commissioner Ferry?
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts?
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Thank
you, Mr. Dewey.
Item E, consider approving bids for the residential curbside trash pickup. Mr. Jefferson?
Mr. Chairman and commissioners, we went out to bid, the 5-year renewal, was up this year, and, so we received one bid. The other bidder, at the last minute, emailed me and basically said that they could not get the equipment, in a timely fashion. They couldn't secure equipment, trucks and all. Because this bid will start January 1st. So Republic submitted theirs. It's a renewal. It's a 5-year plan up there. The rates are $11.41 per can. We got 8134 cans out there. The county pays for it. I'm sure it's going to go up. And that did go up. It went up. Actually, $11.75 at the can bid price. It was $11.41. That's up 34%. So their bid is successful. They've been with us for 5 years at least. With occasional cleanup, they respond very well to our needs and our requests. And I suggest and recommend that we continue on with it.
I agree with you. I've had a really good relationship with Republic and their representatives, and we've been able to address pretty much any issue out in my district we've had, as well as other issues in other districts calling about. So, given that's the low bid, the only bid, I'll make a motion that we approve the contract with Public Services for another 5 years.
I second it.
Motion second, any discussion?
I know they have worked well with us on the Amnesty Day, something that I started when I was elected. And no hesitation, they wanted to do anything that was good for the county, and I think that's what we need, to kind of help keep it clean. We did it county-wide this last time, and no hesitation, they did whatever they could to help us. I sure do appreciate the services, Ms. Kelly, and all y'all do. All right.
No disrespect. We started Amnesty long before you were elected, Mr. Commissioner.
We sure participated this last time.
All right, Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Ferry?
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts?
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Commissioner Hires?
Yes. All right, item F is to consider approving the bid for the transit authority.
I'm sorry.
No? Evidence swapping on the sheet. Apologize. Consider a premium pay through ARPM.
Commissioners, basically, first communication given a recent retreat and the direction provided in this retreat from y'all, premium or bonus pay for county employees is as follows. The first responders, that's the deputies, and this money is ARP money, and this is part of the designation for how you spend that ARP money. That's American Rescue Plan money, funds from feds. First responders, deputies, there's the road and the detectives, paramedics, detention officers, E911 officers, they're all labeled as first responders. We're requesting they give them a net $1,500 in pocket. All right, as a bonus. Essential workers, all other non-first responders, full-time county employees, net $1,000. Part-time employees, that's regular part-time employees, not temporary, not seasonal, not the regular county part-time employees, net of $300, and the volunteer county firefighters, a net of $300. Eligibility requirements for first responders and essential workers is that the individual has to be a current employee of the county as of November 15th. Eligibility requirements of part-time employees is that the individual has to be an active part-time employee as of November 8th and has been paid by the county for part-time work within the last 3 months, which is August of this past year. Non-active or seasonal workers are not eligible for this pay again. Eligibility requirements for county volunteer firefighters is that the individual has to be a current and or active volunteer with all the credentials up to date as of November 8th, which is today. Elected officials and county administrator, county attorney, temporary and seasonal or event type part-time workers and other contract employees are not eligible. Now, I will say, Commissioner, that, Mr. Chairman, that we're looking at ways to compensate our elected officials when they do a fine job. They're essential workers by trade over there, but the requirements of this is, focus on the county employees over there. But we'll be working on ways to compensate our elected officials. Okay?
All right,
And I would say again, this ARP money is not out of general fund, it's not out of SPOS or anything else. This is general American Rescue Plan money and designated for such.
and at this point, it is a one-time deal,
One-time deal.
unless something changes further up the line from us.
And that's, yes.
Okay, I know you put in a lot of time trying to figure the best way to disperse these funds. I appreciate the amount of time and discussion we've had to do that. And let's reassure that we're not leaving anybody out. We're simply trying to make sure that we meet the proper conditions and proper parameters for this.
Yes.
Given that, I'll make a motion that we approve the bonuses for the county employees. Second, Mr. Chairman. Motion second, any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I will add that we will try to disperse these funds next week before Thanksgiving.
Right. Great. Motion second, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas.
Yes.
Commissioner Myers.
Yes.
Commissioner McCreary.
Yes. If I could add that we are, as a county, as citizens and as leaders of the county, we are certainly indebted to these first responders and the way that they performed during this pandemic and all other times. So I want to really take my hat off to the way that every department, every single department has responded and been able to maintain operations for the county. Yeah, we can't thank them enough. All right, there are items with the administrator.
I think you've got the proclamation for the tower.
Yes, sir. He's still over there.
Item G.
Item G that I added to the agenda and almost forgot again. We actually did a photograph last week and last month. I joined the Wayne County Retired Teachers Association along with Senator Blake Tillery and Senator Stephen Meeks to honor and recognize them and what they do in educating not only me but many of us in this room, which was a full-time job. So I will read this proclamation and hope you share my sentiment in how much we really do need to appreciate these folks. By the Chairman of the Board of Commissioners, Wayne County, Georgia, a proclamation for Retired Educator Day. Whereas the Governor of the State of Georgia has proclaimed the day of Sunday, November 7th, 2021 as Retired Educators Day in Georgia. And whereas there are more than 140,000 retired educators in Georgia, 31,000 plus of whom are members of the Georgia Retired Educators Association. And whereas the retired educators of Georgia donate thousands of hours of volunteer service and make invaluable contributions to the welfare of their respective communities across the state. And whereas it is appropriate that a day be designated for citizens to express their appreciation for the contributions that retired educators have made and continue to make for the betterment of human lives and for society. And whereas local churches will recognize those lasting contributions made by retired educators in this community. Now, I therefore, Herschel Hires, Chairman of the Wayne County Commissioners, do hereby proclaim today of November 7th, 2021 as Retired Educators Day. And I call upon the citizens of Wayne County to observe that day in an appropriate manner, honoring retired educators.
Thank you, Mr. Chubbs, I appreciate that.
Thank you, Mr. Retired Educator.
I did 38 years.
Appreciate it. And I want to, again, thank, as I come from a line of educators, and I think probably everybody in this room is somehow affected with someone close to their family. My hat's off to them for what they have to go through. Mr. Administrator?
Mr. Chairman, thank you. The only item I really have here is working pretty hard, Amanda and I, on budget and other things here. And we'll have something to y'all, the TANs will be to y'all next month, in December. The other thing is the redistricting, maps. And then I sent y'all a couple of emails about that concern up there. I think it's gonna come down to, we just have to go to Atlanta and draw up those maps with the board of, with the reapportionment, office. So, that's the 22nd, and we'll just need to drive up there. I reached out to Dr. Kelly, he's available. I'm not completely sure about his board members, but, we can do this by Zoom, but I suggest over there you probably need to make a trip. Mr. Vice Chairman has been through this process a couple of times, and it's pretty simple. You just have to get up there and they have to draw the map up there.
All right, it's interesting. It's amazing.
What I offered, we need to go up there, the meeting will be from 2 to 4, drive up in the morning and drive back that afternoon, and whatever your flavor is.
To clarify what the discussion's about is, when the census is completed and the numbers of residents and the numbers of increase and decrease in population throughout the country, throughout the state, throughout the county, as growth happens through the 10 years from census to census, residents move from district to district, whether they decide to sell a house in town or move to the country or whatever. And Wayne County districts have shifted somewhat with population. We're required by law to make sure that minority districts are represented well and equitable. And in order for us to make sure that we represent the citizens with equal numbers, these district lines have to be shifted. And that's what Mr. Jeffers is referring to. We will go to Atlanta to the Department of Transportation where they have a computer that can shift the population immediately as the lines are shifted. And that's what we'll be going to do, is make sure that we try to, the most perfect, I guess, for lack of a better term, number of citizens, I believe, is around 6,000. 26 or so per district. So we're going to try to, District 4, I think, lost some residents. District 5 lost some residents. 2 maybe. Q and 3 and 5 gained residents. 3 and 1 gained residents. So we'll have to do some shit. And that's what that's about.
Mr. Chairman, also Adam, this is for county commissioners and for Board of Education districts.
All right. Items for the commissioners. Commissioner. Thank you.
Congratulate Mayor Hickox on winning his election and doing a good job of his campaign. I look forward to working with you, as I'm sure all the other commissioners, because Jessup is a huge part of Wayne County, and I think we all need to work together and put the past behind us and do what's right for the county and the city, and maybe we can get this thing rolling back together where we need to, so we can all make this the great Wayne County again. I guess everybody looked at these red books that were passed out to us last month. I know we had made some changes in the EMS system because we found we were notified or whatever, we've made aware of some problems that we have in the EMS system. We did, make some changes to the base pay grades, but after looking at these numbers, and I'm sure y'all looked at them, we still have a lacking in it. And I think as us, this is the service that we provide as commissioners. We should continue to look at this and find out what the problem is. We had one of our senior paramedics, had a heart attack. Don't know if it was pertaining to his working up there, but they work a lot of hours, as you said a while ago. During COVID and everything, they have not slowed up any. And with our lack of, the number of paramedics we have, and we added on another 24-hour ambulance, I think it's our responsibility to do what we can to try to figure out this situation before somebody, gets hurt, and we can't make that call. We have a lot of fatigue in that area from the number of hours that they're working. I just highlighted a few things that I thought saw that were of great concern. They're working ungodly hours. They'll work a shift and then turn around and they're on call. I don't know how familiar y'all are with this, and I'm not real familiar with it, but looking through these notes, I think we need to do something. When you try one thing and it doesn't work, you don't just overlook it. I think we need to go back and see if we can figure out what can be done to correct this problem. I know we've tried to get 2 paramedics on each truck. There's a limited number of paramedics, and we have not, haven't gotten a sufficient number to run 2 trucks all the time. If you looked at the paperwork, it looks like average is about 300 hours that we do not have a second truck. And you're looking at about 700 hours in a month, plus or minus. So we still have a deficiency in having the 2 trucks. Looks like we're, from the numbers given from all the way back from May, looks like we've increased our number of transfers, but by the same token, when we're doing a transfer, we're leaving the county open with 1 ambulance. I think we need to, the changes that we've done have been a little bit effective, but not enough to correct the problem. Mr. Jeffords, I don't know if you have any more game plans or whatever to correct this situation, but I think we need to do it sooner than later because looking at these numbers, we're still not up to par. I realize that all counties are lacking in certain areas in employment hiring. We did change our pay scale, so that should help us out a little bit with recruiting people. But I don't know that we shouldn't go back to looking at getting EMTs to drive the trucks for the 2 paramedics that we have. And I understand that that's not what y'all want, but if we do that, we at least have the 2 24-hour trucks. And it's my understanding that when you have 2 paramedics, 1 paramedic drives the truck and 1 paramedic works on the patient. And then after that, they flip-flop and the other paramedic drives the truck and the other one works on the patient. Well, you're still not giving them any recuperation time. If we had an EMT and a paramedic, that way the 2 that are not on call would be able to rest some so that they can accurately diagnose a patient and give them the proper medical care.
We're looking into that. There's a new moniker for EMTs that allow for that. And right now there's probably going to be some legislation coming up to relax the requirements to allow that. So that's something that Ed and Richard have discussed about the possibility of having a bus driver that is medically trained. But so they're working on it.
We do use EMTs. We have, and we are continuing to use EMTs. And we use part-time paramedics. We actually are working on getting more paramedics. We've hired, potentially hiring one today as a part-time EMT coming over and looking at others, but we do use EMTs. They're not full-time employees, and they don't hold a slot for that. But we'd like to see if the EMTs progress on and become a paramedic, EMTs, which are advanced EMTs. I have a meeting tomorrow with the president of the Coastal Pines College to talk about paramedic training and seeing if we can get a farm system, if you will, of EMTs that will continue on with their education locally, become a paramedic. So we're focused on that, and we're continuing on hiring. We do utilize EMTs on a part-time basis to help out there. The problem with EMTs is they can't do nothing,
That's right.
and the paramedics slow it down. We need to get paramedics, and that's the problem. We identified that. We're working on finding that. We told y'all it's gonna be a work in progress. We are making strides. We need about 4 more, I believe. Richard and I talk about it every week, and we're making strides with that. Again, he's utilizing part-time EMTs. I'd like to make sure that these EMTs are potential new paramedics, future paramedics. And again, I'm talking to the president of the college tomorrow and looking to see what kind of solutions we can bring to that table and help this thing out. But yes, the pandemic, they were all stretched. I think the first responders, everybody was stretched out. The hospital was stretched out. Everybody during this process was overwhelmed.
And it's region-wide and statewide.
Right.
It's one of the things that the policy council is trying to work on to get statewide,
That's right.
more paramedics trained and more paramedics on the bus.
Right.
It's being addressed. Everything in that book is being addressed.
Okay, well, I just want to I had asked in the meeting 6 months ago that we be given an update so we would know how it's progressing. And I got this book, so I looked through it, and it was, kind of disturbing when we have 300 hours a month that we don't have it. So whatever, I'm glad y'all are working on it, but I'm glad we got this update so that we can see where we're at. Because I can tell you, if it's one of my loved ones, or anybody for that matter, but more pertinently, one of my loved ones that doesn't get an ambulance call because we're not doing our job, that's not satisfactory for what we're doing as commissioners. So I'm glad that Daniel gave us this information, and I hope we'll get an update shortly saying that we do have all the paramedics to do whatever's necessary to take care of the citizens of Wayne County.
I think we're doing the best we can with what we've got to work with both the funds we've got to work with and the personnel that's available out there. And we're continuing to improve. That's as good as we can do, is just keep trying to hire, keep trying to hire temporaries and part-times. Richard's doing a fine job of trying to keep what we've got and get new ones. But
That's it.
It's progress.
Me and Luke volunteered to work part-time.
Let me tell you something. I'm gonna figure out being politically correct here. There's 3 things I don't want. There's 3 things I don't want. That's you with a stethoscope and you with a needle and Jay Fulton to say he's gone. All right, now, listen, I wanna commend you on the memorial. I rode by there today and I see progress going on. That's great. Y'all doing what y'all.
We're coming. We got plenty of money, so we're gonna be okay. Congratulations, Ralph. Nice to have the mayor and his wife here tonight. We're gonna take a sledgehammer out and hit a lick out there on that wall. It's gonna look good.
Good.
I looked at the picture the other day that Billy sent us, and it's gonna look nice. When we get done with it, we're gonna be proud.
Great.
We're not gonna be disappointed, we're gonna be proud.
Good.
Don't you have a dedication coming up here?
Yeah, it's coming up on the 12th.
Well,
The 12th, there'll be a little small dedication out there.
it's 11.
11 and 11 a.m. in front of the hospital. Be there and be square.
They know more than I know around somewhere. They just call me and say, look, you need to show up, so I'll show up. We'll have a speaker, and we'll have, called Jimbo today about getting the pole up, set up out there, so we'll look decent. We can really get everything all said and done. And I want to thank Ellen and the guys for just, I mean, man, when you had as much water as we had fall, I was thinking, gosh, I'm scared to even go out there anymore, but I went out and took it on the chin with some people, you know, and let them fuss at me a little bit, and I just said, look, you need to talk to Jesus about the rain, I ain't gonna do it. So I appreciate everything the guys are doing, you know, you tell them I called Buddy yesterday and told him, I appreciate everything they're doing.
Thanks, sir.
I'm happy with what they're doing.
All right, okay, thank you. Mr. Thomas?
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, thank you for the fine job you're doing. You were recognized in the newsletter by ACC Chief, and I appreciate what you're doing. Next thing I want to do, I want to thank County Administrator for working with me and all of you. My grant, $750,000 grant was approved to build the multi-purpose senior citizen building down near Hall Richardson. So the Commissioner Nunn will be giving those grants out on the 12th in Meta. So we'll have somebody there to get that money and take a picture, bring it back here, and then we will start working on that building. I think that's going to be a great asset to that community and one step towards revitalizing that community. That's going to serve a great purpose. So I just,
That'll be something to be proud of.
yeah, something to be proud of. I really appreciate it.
All right, I want to echo Commissioner Robert's sentiments on the road department help. I know y'all had called trouble this last month, especially this last weekend when all the rain came. Thank y'all. Pass it on to the guys. We really appreciate it.
I'll pass it on.
Please do.
Buddy does a good job.
And Ed, thank you for your due diligence on this ARP bonuses. I know the employees appreciate it, and I appreciate the fact that we can do it. Kelly, thank y'all for your responses on helping us out with the leaks and stuff. I want to bring a little bit of attention to Commissioner Thomas. The nominating committee Monday before last now, met and nominated the officers for the upcoming new term for the Heart of Georgia Autumn Hall Regional Council. And Commissioner Thomas was nominated chairman to head up that council. That's a pretty good size honor. It helps this county a lot with funds that we get through the state. This coming weekend is the time that we commissioners have to attend some classes that are required by state. And we missed them last year through COVID unless we could handle them virtually. So I think that all of us have been trying to we'll be trying to catch up this weekend in Savannah to get our age a little bit more educated on how to be a county commissioner. And I feel kind of like an aspirin bottle, so much aspirin in it, the rest is going in his cotton. But maybe they get a little bit more packed in there. Given that,
Mr. Chairman, you would think that, since we've been in the county for so many years and you go all this training, you think that we know it, but every year they keep changing the rules on you.
that's for sure. Having no other business, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I'll say, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for coming. Appreciate your attention.